Alec Ross, Innovation Advisor. Welcome to FundForum International 2014. Tell us a bit about yourself and your experience.
Well, I just finished 4 years inside government, serving as Hilary Clinton's Senior Advisor for Innovation. Before that, I was an entrepreneur, and now I'm back in private life for at least a few more years, helping companies understand an increasingly complicated world at the intersection of technology and geopolitics.
Today's themes here at FundForum are looking specifically at the next generation, and I guess that technology is a key there.
It is. You know, young people, I'm 42 years old, so I define young as anybody younger than me. I think that young people have grown up with an affinity for technology that people my generation and generations older simply didn't. So if you want to connect with young people in today's world, you have to leverage technology.
In real terms, how can asset managers do that? Because it's not something that they've ever done in the past.
No, you know, with asset managers, I don't think it's necessarily about using social networking or things like this. Rather, I think that part of what they have to do is make sure that they have products that appeal to young investors and that recognize the affinity that they have for technology. A lot of young people are very keen to invest in or support pre-public companies, still privately held companies, that might have a particularly high risk threshold, but which are particularly innovative and which have technology at their core. So if you really want to get inside the head of a young investor, you have to have vehicles that allow for that.
And do you think these young investors care more about social responsibility and things like that as well?
I do. I think it's necessary to have some products, some focus on corporate social responsibility. I find that the environment is a big driver for the sensibilities of a lot of young people, and that, you know, looking for funds or looking for investment vehicles that they can sleep well at night, it's important to them. Not all of them, but important to an increasingly large percentage of younger investors.
What do you hope to impart today, if you like, to the people that have come to meet you and hear you speak?
You know, since I stopped working for Hilary Clinton a year and a half ago when she and I left government, I've spent this year and a half sort of in deep research, thinking about post-internet innovation. You know, what are those things that are going to create the big businesses and the fortunes of the future? So what I hope to talk about are the innovations in industries, from the commercialization of genomics to robotics to cyber, that exist today, but which will be far larger and more significant 5, 6, 7 years from now.
Exciting, engaging subjects.
They are. Yeah, no,
here.
It's pretty exciting stuff. I mean, as disruptive as the internet, mobile, and social have been, I think that the next 5, 7 years are going to see a pace of change in the business world, in markets, that are as wild as anything we've seen. And I think that there are young people in their 20s and their 30s imagining and inventing the future and bringing it to market.
You have specifically worked as well at targeting and reaching sort of disenfranchised, if you like. Is
Yes.
that something that you'll be talking about a bit as well?
I will be. I think that the developing world and frontier markets are developing in fascinating ways. I think that a lot of the developing world is becoming the developed world, and a lot of frontier markets that we would never have thought of for business, are increasingly becoming like emerging markets. And so there is promise and peril engaging in the more historically disadvantaged parts of the world, but there's a lot of promise there, and I find it much more interesting oftentimes than other work, so I definitely have a lot of focus there.
One thing that comes up when technology comes up is security of systems and things like that. So what should asset managers be thinking in those terms? Is it something they should be scared of, or is there a solution out there?
It's sad, but the head of every asset management team has to account for security. You really need to have as close to bulletproof security systems as possible, because unfortunately, trading platforms, proprietary corporate information, and other such things are attractive to hackers. Hackers are growing more sophisticated, and people working in the financial services field are squarely in their focus. So you might think, oh, we're not that big, oh, we're in a country that don't have a lot of hackers. It doesn't matter. you really need to focus on it as a matter of your fiduciary responsibility.
FundForum likes to think of itself as a collaborative conference where you get to take ideas away as well. So do you hope to do that today, and who do you hope to meet?
I do. I tell people, remember, you only have one mouth, but you have two ears. So I plan on listening, and I think that as a very practical matter, to understand the geopolitics of the world, you need to understand market forces. And so I'm really interested in taking the knowledge about market forces and bringing it back to my traditional world of geopolitics.
It's a fairly unique environment here. There's something like 40 countries represented and 1,200 delegates from all over the world.
This is what the world looks like now. We live in it's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason, to say that we live in an increasingly global, interconnected world. And part of what I like about this forum is that it's not just people from 2 or 3, 4 European countries in the US. I mean, this is truly a global forum, which makes it all the more interesting.
Alec, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you.